Gear up, Scooter fam. So today I thought I'd do a 100-mile review as I'm accumulating my 100th mile on the Nami Klima, since I've got it right at going on 4 weeks ago. So it's almost been 4 weeks, and I'm on this ride. I will hit 100 miles. I'm going on an 8-mile ride. This is an 8-mile ride, as it turned out to be. Did not get a chance to go to Walmart. I just need to go to Walmart, and so I took another trip today, roughly the same distance, right at 8 miles, like I said. And I decided to use the helmet cam full time. Since I'll be, I think I'll try to just start going with the helmet cam. It works better than the chest cam. And I use the chest cam on the Journey Max, but it was a little bit, the Klima's taller, and I have that bag sitting in front. So whenever I have the chest cam and I have to step down off the scooter, it just leaves the camera staring at the bag, which, I don't think makes for a good video. So now when I step off the bag, you guys can kind of see the cockpit of the Klima, and then when I step back up on the scooter, you can kind of see the rearview mirrors. So I'll probably be removing that top bar because I'm not going to be using a dash cam at all, really. I mean, it's fine, but you just don't really get to see the scooter, and so I don't know. It kind of takes the point away because you could be riding anything. So, in any case, if I get the light in the future, maybe I'll put it back on. But for now, it doesn't really serve a purpose. I'm not going to be using it for anything at this particular moment, so I'm gonna remove it for now. And then just gonna have the rest of the setup the way it is. So so 100 miles on the Klima is the topic for today. And first of all, I'm gonna state that I have already made this ride. Obviously, I'm talking over it later in the day, and got to 104 miles. So once again, 8-mile trip. Yesterday I was at 96 miles. I estimated I would take an 8-mile trip when I was planning on going to Walmart, which I didn't get to do. So today I made an 8-mile trip, which got me to 104 miles. So I'm at 104 miles with 25% battery left. I'll put a picture up of the display, although you guys can see it right before it happens a couple times while we're riding. But I'll put a picture up of the final display so you guys can see. But I'm at 25% battery and 104 miles. I was at 54 miles the first charge, and went down to like 23% or something like that. And then I'm at 104, which is exactly 50 miles later, at 25%, which in my mind is time to recharge, obviously. But I'm at 25%. I don't remember what I estimated. I estimated I would be at like 28%. But in any case, I'm exactly at 50 miles. So I feel pretty confident saying I can get 50 miles on a charge on the Klima, riding it the way I do, being at the size I am, in the area that I am, in my normal ride around town or whatever. So some are more hilly than others. There's not too many crazy hills, but there's always a little bit here and there. So I just want to point out that range has been an extremely pleasant expectation for today too. Just to kind of chime in for a second. I'm going to keep this about the scooter and the scooter only. I don't really want to go into my experiences having to deal with some of the companies and people that I've had to deal with, just because it just seems to get negative. So, and if there's negative to say about the scooter, I'm gonna say it. But the point is, just gonna stick to reviewing the scooter today. Uh, Kind of funny. This guy just kind of steps up and stands like right in the middle of the. I had to like push past him a little bit, but I don't know why he just stepped up right there. Like, you're not gonna come through here. So anyway, I did. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to reviewing the scooter. The range has been a pleasant surprise. Um, I was seriously, don't know why, but I was seriously nervous about not even getting the same range that I get out of my Journey Max, which is whatever, but you just don't know. They say real world range, and they ride around, and you don't know what it is. I mean, it's just hard to pinpoint like that, and so like what's the minimum range I'm gonna get? It just depends on so many things. Your riding style, your size, the type of terrain you ride on, whether you ride on the street or you like to go off road from time to time. Um, how you ride the scooter, literally, like how you ride it. Um, I'll get going a bit and then I'll coast for a bit, and I'll get going a bit. I'm not gonna just lay on the throttle. I don't use cruise control, which cruise control would probably use a lot more battery, just because you're constantly pulling power. And I'll get going and get a nice little speed up, and then I'll cruise until I kind of slow down, and I'll do it again. So, um, and sort of kind of got used to that on the Journey Max as well. To stay out of cruise control, because if you hold it down too long at the same speed, it'll just kick into cruise control. Luckily, the Klima doesn't do that. But I still find that's how I like to ride, and I'll probably get more range. Then that's not why I do it, but it's probably true. So, and I'm actually charging the Klima right now. I don't know if you guys can see the cord, or maybe even hear the fan. It has a fan, so it doesn't bother me too much. Some people get bothered by the fan, but I don't find it to be a big deal. Um, so I'm taking some residential roads today. It should be a pretty cool little video as far as that goes. I'm not staying on the bike trail. I may stay away from the bike trails. I think I said, because there's not enough room, and if someone tries to squeeze by me and I don't see them coming, I could run into them if they're gonna go around me or something like that. So I may stick to residential, roads. It's probably better for the Klima and scootering anyway. I found that one trail, and I started to get used to riding it a lot, and it was pretty nice. But like I said, and that guy shot around me, and I could have just went right into him, and we both would have been banged up. Scooters and bikes and everything banged up. So it's not, to me, I don't mind going the residential roads and sidewalks when I can't do that. But some sidewalks are rough, man. Rough. I prefer to stay on roads as much as possible. But anyway, yeah, 104 miles, 50 miles on this second battery charge, and that's just so great for me. Like I said, that's gonna differ from whoever rides it, but you should know that what they put on there. I think they claim this one get up to 60, and probably that's with 165-pound rider on a perfect day on flat land, in eco mode or something like that. But I expected it to be much lower than that. Much lower than that. I was kind of hoping for 30 miles or so. I was kind of, if I got 40, I would have been stoked. But here I am getting 50 consistently, doing what I want to do, riding how I want to ride. It's just awesome, as far as that goes. So, all right, now for some of my challenges that I've had. You guys probably know, but if you don't, right off the bat, I had brake issues. brake issues right off the bat. I got some brakes that the brake sensors were faulty, didn't work, and I know there are previous brake sensors. And I was like, maybe you got the old version. I did not get the old version. I got the version with the turn signals and the brake signals on the extended fender, as you guys know, but may or may not know. But in any case, it's never. I know he was like, well, it's just a brake sensor. That's fine, but I got a brand new scooter that I paid $2,000 for. Not harping. I'm just saying that's been a pain, right? And then I've had the one rotor start rubbing. And once again, like, oh, it's not a big deal. This is how you fix it. It wasn't warped, which is good, but I still had to fix it. And I haven't had this scooter 4 weeks, and I've already had to replace the brakes and reseat the rotor. It's not a huge deal, but considering that I've had the Journey Max scooters now for 4 months, not 4 weeks, and I've never had to do anything other than change a couple flats. Now flats suck, and flats really suck changing them on those scooters. But flats are going to happen. That is of no fault of the scooter manufacturer. That's no fault of design, how the scooter's designed. I haven't had the slightest bit of trouble, not the slightest bit, out of the Journey Max scooters. Does that say that I like the Journey Max scooters more than the Klima? Obviously not. But this scooter costs 4 times as much as the Journey Max, and I've had problems from jump, brake problems. So it's not that I mind working on the scooter. It's not that I mind changing the brakes. But I would have expected this to be something down the road, not something right away weeks into owning this scooter. So that's been a tad thorn in my side. But I'm very hopeful that we're going to get these things ironed and smoothed out, and then we're going to have a nice scooter for quite a long time. I'm really hopeful that this is a really nice scooter. I don't know why this. I'm taking a GPS today because I don't know all the little roads to go down on this trip as much. So I'm using the GPS, and I don't know why it takes me down that sidewalk for so long. I don't like that sidewalk at all. So I decided to cut back through here, back behind these buildings, so I don't have to deal with that sidewalk. Brake issues have been a pain. I still like the scooter a lot. I'm still hopeful that it's going to be a great scooter down the road. I know I'll have maintenance. I know I'll have more brake problems. Hopefully from wear and tear, not just, messing up on me. So, that's fine. You expect those things. You expect maintenance. I expect I'm going to have to fix flats. I expect I'm going to have to change tires. I expect I'm going to have to replace brake pads and rotors eventually. Those things I expect. I expect those things. I'm going to have to bleed the brakes from time to time. That's normal maintenance. I don't expect to have to replace the brakes before I can even ride it, and reseat the rotor after only riding a couple of weeks. So that's my issues with the brakes. Hopefully, like I said, those get smoothed out. I reseated it properly. I made sure that everything was tightened down properly. So I'm hopeful that did the trick. I appreciate all the help I'm getting, and I take it into consideration, but I just don't want to have to baby these brakes every 2 weeks. I haven't had to make any adjustments on my other scooters' brakes. They're not hydraulic, but they're mechanical disc brakes, and the rotor is never rubbed, and and I've never had problems getting the scooter to stop, or the electronic brakes being causing any problems with the brake light staying on, any of that. So simpler design, but less issues from the jump. All right, so let's just talk about the overall ride and feel of the scooter. Obviously, night and day difference from the Journey Max. I wouldn't say it's like automatically like you know, all of my problems are gone, and every suspension uh, quirk that I had with the um, Journey Max, which is my first scooter, uh, is has been alleviated, but it's improved, exponentially, quite a bit. And so, especially on just the average rides on the small little bumps in the road, on the Journey Max, like you're gonna feel every bump. I mean, of course, it has no suspension, 8.5-inch tires. I mean, you're just gonna feel everything you hit. Um, these are much wider tires, 10x3s, uh, and the suspension is awesome. What I will say, and I'm curious to know is, and I still get quite a bit of jarring if I hit a decent size gap or drop in the concrete or something. It's still pretty jarring on the Klima. I'm curious to know if something like, let's say, the GTR or even the Wolf Warrior X, like I was looking at, that has more of a suspension built for off road, would would be even smoother with those for those large, like I said, chunks in the concrete, or missing, or drops from one slab to another. The little stuff is hardly noticeable anymore. I mean, the little stuff is just almost non-existent, and that's so nice because, like, a majority of my ride, I can just relax. Maybe I don't want to get too relaxed, but on the Journey Max, I was kind of tensing up, not necessarily tensing up like locking up, but just making sure I had my knees bent, my elbow. I was just like more like adamant because every little thing I hit felt like it was kind of going to move me around, shake me around a little bit. So yeah, the small bumps, pretty much are alleviated completely. The ride is just much smoother. I feel myself just kind of getting into and just enjoying the ride a little bit more. Not that I didn't enjoy the Journey Max. Sometimes it was a little less enjoyable with all the cracks, and I still, like I said, I still worry. I wonder if something, like I said, like the GTR or the Wolf Warrior X, when because they're made for off road, if you were to hit those larger cracks, if it would be a softer impact, even yet. So you never know. I may next time I get a scooter, I may get something that's built a little more for off road, like one of the Cabos, just to see how it compares on these really larger chunks and dips and so forth. Because those are the ones I still notice quite a bit, and as long as you're on fairly smooth pavement with just like this stuff, like minor imperfections and so forth, the scooter's amazing. Like I said, you barely even notice it, and on the Journey Max, it's gonna shake you, and you just feel a little less stable on the Journey Max, but you do get used to it. Yeah, I mean, the suspension, the acceleration is extremely smooth compared to the Journey Max. That's even more apparent when I get back on the Journey Max and I have trouble with throttle control again, like I did when I first got it, because I just get used to the smooth throttle and acceleration control of the Klima. So very nice. I mean, as far as that goes, very easy to control. I can really go just as slow as I want to go on the sidewalk with the Klima, and I can approach the sidewalk very slowly using the accelerator, which is tough to do on the Journey Max because it's gonna be a little jumpy. And the Klima, I just don't have that problem. I can just go as slow as I want to, right on, and go over whatever I need to go over and so forth. But so that's on a whole nother level, no question about it. The control of the scooter, I don't have a ton of experience in the Journey Max is a small, lightweight scooter compared, it's only like 45, 50 pounds, something like that. And about half the weight of the Klima. And you can throw that scooter around pretty good. It's not difficult to maneuver on the Journey Max, but I mean it's not as nice, right? It doesn't feel as smooth and cool, but it's not difficult to do. It's a small scooter, and you can just kind of put it wherever you want it, so to speak. Um, and so I was expecting a much larger, bulkier scooter to be a lot more difficult to get in and out of little small situations. But I really don't find it to be any different. Like I said, one is because the throttle control. Two is that I can control the lower speeds a lot better, which makes those little weaving in and out a lot better. So I do really like that. Like I said, with the Journey Max, I'm constantly having to see, okay, do I push it and then just coast for a little bit, to get through this little part. I kind of have to anticipate that a little bit to make sure I hit the spot that's coming up like I want to. It's less of a let's say it's a slippery spot or it's wet or something like that. I'll try to, but with the Klima, I feel like I have so much control. Not that I get a lot of tire spin out on the Journey Max or anything, but it's just the comfortability of the throttle and being able to control the early acceleration is just way better. Uh, what I like and what I don't like. Um, I mean, I'm kind of talking about this, but it's just in general. I really like the ride. I really like the range. Uh, I haven't taken it like too fast. I've probably been up only like 23, 24 miles an hour at the most. I don't look down and I don't have my chest cam on anymore. So I can't go back and reference and find out exactly how fast I was going like I did on the Journey Max. And I was kind of surprised when I did because I kind of gotten out of the habit of looking down. And so when I am going top speeds, I'm kind of, trying to keep my eye on the road, not stare at the at the speedometer to be impressed at how fast I'm going. So when I have glanced down, I'm usually around 23 when I feel like I'm going pretty fast. So it's right there. It's right there, 23, 24 probably. And so I don't go on too many roads like you see that I need that much more speed than what I get. I could jump on faster roads. There's pretty big roads where even the speed limit is 35, but the traffic flies down those roads. I mean, if the speed limit is 35, nobody goes 35 on those roads, and so I'm not jumping out there. So there's really no need for me to, right now in the mode that I'm in, which is sports mode, S mode, it only goes up to 27 miles an hour. I did test it the other day when I was checking the rotors. I did a test on each level because I wanted to see if how the rotors were doing. So I went ahead and changed each mode and maxed out the accelerator to see how fast it would go. So in C mode, or not C mode, S mode, D mode, E mode only goes to like 7, and then dynamic mode goes up to like 19 or 20, and then S mode, the one that I ride into, goes up to 27, which is fine. There's no reason I need more than that right now. 90% of the time, I mean 100% of the time so far, I haven't needed any more than that. So 27 is great. I don't know that I'll ever use all that. I probably will get up around 25 or so, just naturally riding around. The more comfortable I get, but I can imagine going faster than that on a daily basis. So S mode is right where I need to be. The acceleration's nice, but it's not overwhelming. It goes to 27. I could change these settings. I looked at all these settings in depth, and then in C mode it'll go up to 35 miles an hour, and then interestingly enough, in X mode it also goes up to 35 miles an hour, The acceleration is faster because X mode is the most uncontrollable acceleration that I went on. One time I was out and I guess something I was doing. I wasn't, I was doing something with my hands or something, and I guess I had pushed the plus button without realizing it, and I had jacked it up to X mode, and I still thought I was in sports mode, and so I was trying to get going at a intersection, and I was like, man, I couldn't manage it. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And my first thought was that I accidentally get into X mode, and I looked down, and that was certainly the case. So I changed it, but it's easy to tell. That thing is it's like a beast want to take off without you. So on that note, how I ride the scooter too is on the Journey Max. I got used to just riding one foot, my left foot in front, and my right foot just kind of cocked to the side, towards the back a little bit. It's kind of like this, and that's a natural. Feels like I'm riding a skateboard. I used to ride a skateboard, not like really great or anything, but enough to get around. I'm comfortable on a skateboard. So I used to ride a skateboard, and so I kind of like the feel of riding a skateboard that way, with my foot front this way and my back foot this way, and so that feels comfortable for me. And so riding with my foot on the tail and my front foot like that, I mean, I know that's probably better for like X mode and having trying to control the speed because of the push, but yeah, like I said, for what I do, it's not necessary. I don't really feel as I don't know, say balanced. I don't feel as planted, right? With one foot up like this. I feel very, wobbly in a sense of, from where my feet are. It's kind of like standing with your feet from side to side and shoulder width apart versus standing with your feet like this. You don't feel balanced as far as not the scooter, but you. And so me having my back foot out like this, I feel like I've got control over that left and right, and then I got my front foot, so I've got a nice little stable stance on the scooter. This is not a stable stance. It's an aggressive stance, but you want to go flying, but it's not a nice, stable, balanced feeling stance. And so I like to feel secure on the scooter. That stance works better for me, and it feels better for me when I'm riding the scooter. So yeah, that all those things come into play when I'm riding around and with the speeds that I'm sort of comfortable at going at. As far as dislikes, I think I mentioned early on that the display, seeing the speed I was going, wasn't easy to do when it's very sunny out. And I did notice that when I was first riding the scooter. But now that I've started riding it quite a bit, it just really doesn't come into play that much for it to be a big deal. It's more noticeable versus the Journey Max, going from the Journey Max to this scooter. But now that I'm riding it, it hasn't annoyed me. It hasn't bothered me. That's totally, a non-issue. So, not really too, that hasn't been an ongoing pain or anything like that. I love the NFC chip reader. I found one. I think I said this. I end up using my an old credit card that I programmed out of my wallet, because I always have my wallet on me, and so I just take out my wallet and tap it and get going. It's so nice. And I could turn it off, turn it on. It's just really handy. I actually love that part of the scooter. It makes me feel better too that nobody can just jump on and take off. Even though Journey Max is only like a $500 scooter, I still used to worry that I would kind of, that somebody would just run up and just run off on it, and all they had to do was just jump on, push the power button, and hit the accelerator. And I'd just be standing there like, oh, what's going on? So I may try to put an Apple AirTag on the Klima just in case. But I do lock it up pretty well, and I try not to stay in somewhere very long where I can't see the scooter. It just, obviously it makes me a little nervous about that. But just in case, I'd like to put an AirTag somewhere. Maybe a couple. In case they find one, they'll think they found it, and there's still another one that's less obvious. That's a good idea. So, like I said, they may find one and go, "Oop, I found it," and then there's a real one. Like, anyway, they're both real, but it's the backup. Anyway, it's got that idea. There's not really too many dislikes that I don't like about the scooter. Like I said, except the brake issues. The brakes work fine when they're working. I don't have a problem with them. I've sort of tried to revert to a single. That's the one thing I'll say about riding this scooter versus riding the Journey Max. The Journey Max has a single brake lever on the left, and I've got my throttle on the right. And I kind of like that. I wish there were more scooters, even like the bigger scooters, that would do something like that. I know it's more difficult because you've got the dual brakes, and so you have to have a right brake lever. But there's something I like about having only the accelerator on this side and only the brakes on this side. Like I said, it's probably not realistic with these types of scooters, but it was just a natural feeling. Very, very easy to get used to. This one, even though, and that's what I don't like about the trigger throttle versus the other throttles, is because you got the muscle memory and you're pulling the first and second brakes and the brakes and the throttle on the same hand with the same type of muscles. And I would just be afraid that I was going to want to hit the brake and hit the accelerator, or want to hit the accelerator and hit the brake. I've done that a couple of times already on the Klima. Luckily, I caught myself, or I didn't, it wasn't an issue or whatever. But even though I'm using my thumb, and I'm thinking about this hand, and so I'm getting ready to, I'm trying to hit the accelerator, and a couple of times I've tapped the right brake, which is the front brake. It's not the brake you want to hit when you're trying to only use one. You will go flying. So I'm really trying to, train myself against that as far as muscle memory. But it's the two with the trigger would just be a real chance taker, in my opinion. I'm sure you'll get used to it, but it'll take longer to get used to, and there'll probably be more potential for disaster, in my opinion, early on. So that's not a big complaint or anything. Obviously, like I said, with these types of scooters, you have to have dual brakes, and you've got to have two levers to do that. But if there was another way to do that, that would be nice. But it's probably difficult with these types. All right, so that's all I had to talk about for the Klima. It's been great overall. I love the scooter. I'm very hopeful it's going to be a long-term scooter. I'm going to have maintenance. I'm going to have brake issues. But I just hope they're part of like maintenance and not, continuous issues. It's the only issues I've had so far with the Klima. There are no other issues. There was a little bit of stem creak. I haven't heard it come back yet. I haven't noticed it. So maybe the problem is gone. I was told to fold it down. There's a bolt in there that tightens up. It wasn't loose, but it wasn't extremely tight. So I went ahead and just super tightened it down, and I haven't noticed yet. I haven't been just completely listening for it in the wind and so forth. I only noticed a little bit recently, so that may have absolutely took care of the problem. It's not a big deal to me as long as it's not something going wrong. A little creaking doesn't bother me, But if it's, I hear some stories about the Namis and the Klima with the stems and so forth. So I don't ride it rough, and so there's little reason that it should do that. I don't jump off curbs or I care about the scooter. It's a nice scooter. I want it to stay nice. I baby my nice stuff, and so I want to keep it nice for a long time. In any case, I pulled up the Apollo site for a reason, because if you stuck around to the end of the video, I wanted to point out that Apollo's prices are continuing to drop. They're dropping. So I'll probably be offering some updates now and then. I've already seen the price drop twice since they started their Black Friday sale. So they're continuing to go down. I'm going to track all the prices, but this is pretty awesome. Like I said, I said that at first they dropped the Apollo Pro to $32.99 down from $34.99. And then the last look that we took was like $31.49, which I was like, wow, it's approaching $3,000. It is $3,000. So today, I look and it's only been a day or two since we looked at this last, and it's $29.99. It's continuing to drop, and that's the Apollo Pro. So that's a great deal. That's honestly a great deal for $29.99. That is becoming more and more interesting as the day goes by. This is probably the most interesting thing going on at Apollo right now for Black Friday. Not doing too much with the new Phantom. I wouldn't expect that, considering that it's brand new. So you still got the Phantom 2 52 volt at $24.49, and the Apollo Phantom 2.0 at $34.99. The Apollo Phantom V4 is still $18.99. I still think that's a very good deal. And these have dropped a little, I believe. This was $10.99 down at $10.27. For the Apollo Go, that is the Apollo Go. No, it's the Air. Sorry. Where's it go? My mistake. $10.99. So those are the same price. $7.49. Okay. The big change for some reason is just the Apollo Pro. The Apollo Pro is just continuing to go down. I don't know if they're not selling what they thought they would, and so they're testing it out with different price points. But I'll continue to track this. Right now, $29.99 is awesome. That's awesome. Guys, if you found this content helpful, you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe, and happy riding.